keeping secrets, and this is not a big reveal because you probably already saw me leak my own stuff on my social media. Because that's how we do it here at Coffee Break with Dani. I'm so excited that I want you guys to be excited. So I'm like, well, why wait until Thursday to reveal it when you can show your pandas a couple sneak-a-peekas on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter, you know, all that social media that I barely know how to use. So today is the ittsē and Dani collaboration launch of the Lotus Collection. I feel like we need some music, like, oh, is that even music? That's not music. This is such a special project for me. Well, you guys know that when it comes down to collaborations, I always really like think about what I want them to represent. I always want to make sure that it has like a good message, like a good hearty feel-good message attached to it. So if you guys have been following me on social media, you know that my life has had a couple of significant, important changes. So I wanted to use my current mindset as inspiration and motivation on this project. Now this project has been something that we have been working on for a pretty long time. So ittsē is like a free-form type system where you basically customize your own palettes. So I'll show you guys just a little example in case you guys want to see. So there's like one of my eyeshadow palettes, and then I have a face palette here. This one has like my highlighters, some face powders, and some eye primers. So you basically kind of design like your own little makeup palette, and you can put whatever you want in it. I actually found ittsē because of Sam Sherman here on YouTube. She did this beautiful blush called Sunset Beach. I featured it in a monthly favorites video. It's one of my favorite blushes. It's such a beautiful, sparkly, deep peach. So thanks to Sam Sherman, I found out about this brand. I decided to try some of their products. The quality of their eyeshadows is so amazing, but I think that on top of the quality, it's cool because you get to pick whatever you want to put in your palette. You know what I mean? So it gives you that liberty. Anyway, so when I started talking about ittsē products on my channel, they actually reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to do a collaboration quad with them. And I was like, are you serious? So thus, the Lotus Collection was born. And it was born around a time where I really needed to put my focus on something that really inspired me and that would keep me busy and focus and motivate me and keep me, what's the word? Inspired, you know, and just focused and inspired and motivated. And the whole theme or premise behind this quad was the state of mind that I was in at that moment in time, and it really reminded me about you guys, and thus the Lotus Collection was born. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys a close-up of the packaging for this quad. It's a really beautiful packaging with a black and gold sleeve, which is so not Dani, right? Like you would expect to see like a mint or a white or maybe something silvery, but the collection itself's main focus is on the product, the pans that are inside the box, the meat and potatoes of this project. I wanted this project to be happy, and I wanted it to be bright, and I wanted it to make you feel good. And I was like, well, you know, this project's gonna come out around the holidays when everyone's going to parties and you wanna look really beautiful and sparkly and shiny like a unicorn. What if we came up with a new type of product like a pressed pigment or a foiling pigment? And so in this brain of mine, I kind of envisioned the colors that I wanted to come up with and came out with 4 different shades that I think you guys will go bananas over. So when you get your Lotus Quad or your Lotus Collection, it's going to come in a little box like this. The sleeve kind of tells you a little bit about the collection, you know, my little message to you. It's also going to come with a little card insert. And do not throw this away, you guys, because this is a picture of me. No, I'm just kidding. What a douche. No, the instructions on how to use the foiling pigments is on here. And that's kind of like why I was really excited to do this video, because this isn't like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take out this eyeshadow and I'm just gonna blend it out with my brush and I'm just gonna put it on like a regular old eyeshadow. Nope, these are foiling pigments. They are meant to be foiled. Can you use them without being foiled? Absolutely. But if you want that like, bam, like effect out of them, You really need to foil them. So in this video, I'm gonna share the colors with you, but I'm also gonna give you a little baby lesson on how I like to foil my pigments or any eyeshadow that I decide I wanna foil. So let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of these shades. The very first color in this collection is called Stronger. And Stronger is a pink eyeshadow. Yes, it is pink, but it is loaded with duochrome micro glitter. Teal, blue, aqua, like it is one of those colors that I am never gonna be able to do it justice unless I insert a blurry clip with flash on so you guys can see the actual intensity of this shadow. It is such a beautiful color. It is a pink shadow, but it's one of those colors that you can layer on top of something else to get a different effect, or you could use it on its own. After that, we have the color Wiser. And Wiser is a sapphire blue, but because it's laced with so much micro glitter, you guys, I think I put the micro glitter factories out of business. Because it's loaded with so much micro fine duochrome glitter, it looks a little bit more purple because it does have purple glitter and pink glitter in it. So it is a blue shadow, but like I'm gonna show you, it does have a little blue, a little purple to it. Then we have Better, and Better is one of the most beautiful emerald shadows that I have ever seen in my life. This is a emerald like to the infinite power. It's emerald, but it's sparkly, and it just looks like crushed gemstones when you put it on. And I actually used this color on top of a Kelly green eyeshadow, and it was even more breathtaking. It's such a beautiful shadow. You guys know that when it comes down to like makeup and eyeshadow, I just love to layer. The fourth color in the quad is Determined, and Determined is a gold shadow. But before you fret and before you say, oh, well, I can't use gold because of my skin tone, this is a gold that I had to reformulate a bunch of times because it wasn't the gold that I wanted for everyone. This is a very, very dirty gold, and dirty gold. It's almost like a dirty antique gold with a little bit of olive in it. So it's not going to be that like bright yellow gold. It's a little bit more of an olivey, grayish gold. So it's going to look amazing on everyone. I'm actually wearing it today on the lid, and it's one of my favorite colors because this is probably the only one that isn't heavily glitter saturated. So this is like an antique dirty gold, whereas the other three have multi-dimensional duochrome glitters. So they're gonna give you multiple colors within the one pan. This one here is just always gonna look straight up gold. Unless you layer it over a different colored base, which you could, but the color itself already is pretty pigmented, and it doesn't need to be layered with anything. It can be, but it doesn't need to be. So the Lotus Collection, how was the theme or the concept born? If you guys aren't familiar with a lotus flower, a lotus flower is born under mud or through mud, through dirty, murky waters. It rises above the surface of the water and it blooms in the sun. So it goes through all these struggles simply to bloom, and when it actually does bloom, it is not dirty, it is not soiled, it is completely untouched. So it became such a beautiful, it became synonymous with what I was going through in my life, and it became such a beautiful metaphor with what all of us go through at some moment in time. Being told that we're not good enough, that we're not gonna make it, that we're not gonna survive, being thrust into situations that we don't have control over, being surrounded by bad experiences or the hatred of others, or just simply being told that we can't do something, or being so hard on ourselves and not believing in the potential that we have. And here's this little flower that's like born out of mud and murky waters, and she's blooming into the sun, and she's completely untouched. She's like, listen, I'm here, I bloomed, there's the sun, and I'm fine. And it's so simple and so basic, but it's such a beautiful reminder that we can't allow life to trip us. We can learn from what's going on, we can accept the lessons that life is giving us, and we can flourish, we can bloom. So it doesn't matter what mud you get thrown into, you guys can bloom and you can learn from that experience. So I wanted these colors to be happy and bright and sparkly and shimmery because that makes me happy. You know, colors make people happy. From the history of ever, colors have always made people happy. And if you guys are watchers of YouTube, makeup makes you happy. So what a better combination than sparkly, beautiful colors and makeup to create a collection that would just remind us every day of how much immeasurable potential we have every day to make ourselves and our lives better. So let me give you guys a little mini lesson on how we can use these foiling pigments. Now, one little anecdote that I did want to share with you guys is ittsē is one of those companies that is awesome enough to have their own lab. So we're able to get really high quality cosmetics at a really affordable price. So the ingredients in these pans are actually pretty special ingredients. That's why they're so beautiful, they're so sparkly, and unlike anything you guys have ever seen. So you're gonna get 4 eyeshadows at a really, really great price, and they're really good quality materials. And also, ittsē is a paraben-free company. They're also cruelty-free, and they're made in the US. There you go. So let's do a little mini lesson on foiling pigments. I'm going to teach you guys how to use these eyeshadows because I know if there's no explanation tied to them, it might get a little confusing. You might want to use it just like a plain old eyeshadow and you're really not going to get that like oomph, like pizzazz out of it. So these are the 4 eyeshadow colors. When you're going to go and foil a eyeshadow or a loose pigment, you want to use a foiling agent or something that's going to facilitate the foiling process, make it wet so it looks metallic. Now, my favorite ones for that are MAC Fix Plus. MAC is an amazing product to use to foil. It's very easy. It's also very wet. So there's that one. That's one of my favorites. Another one that's really great to use or to have in your like makeup collection is Inglot Duraline. Inglot Duraline is awesome to use to make like a liquid liner. This is a more of a thicker liquid, so it gives you even a more metallic finish. And then you can also use something like a glitter glue. Now this might sound a little bizarre because you're like, well, it's not loose glitter. Well, it's not. But you loosen the product in the pan and then create a mixture out of it to get that foil effect. So all of these are viable products or usable products when you're trying to foil. Now let me show you guys how to use these eyeshadows. They are pressed into this pan really, really well because there's so much pearl glitter product in here that the eyeshadow itself or the pigment itself was a little loose. So it had to get pressed into the pan really, really well so that your pans wouldn't shatter. So here is a tip on how to use it. I like to take my brush, and you can use any type of brush for this, any sort of flat shader brush, any sort of packing brush, any sort of eyeliner brush is good for this. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your brush and you're going to, instead of swiping the product like this, you're going to push against. You see how I'm going in the opposite direction? So you lift or loosen the product, then you pack it onto the brush. Do you see how I'm packing it? Like I'm pushing it into the bristles of my brush. It's all on the brush now, and you will wet it with MAC Fix Plus, and then you're able to swatch the product. And you get a beautiful, really like glowy metallic look. You guys don't judge my hands. I told you guys in another video, my dogs got into a fight and I was collateral damage. So there's one of the colors. So you saw that I foiled it using MAC Fix Plus. I used a regular standard shader brush. And this is perfect for, let's say, the eyelid, right? Now, if you wanna do like a metallic eyeliner, let's go ahead and take Wiser, the really beautiful sapphire shade. Same thing, I'm going to scrape some of the product out of the pan. You see how much product I took? You scrape it, you have a little bit of powder, so now it's almost like a, oh, I don't know, let's say it's a loose pigment, right? You know how to use those. You take a little bit of Duraline, and then you're going to make a liner out of it. I probably should have used an eyeliner brush, huh? So I'm mixing it with Inglot Duraline, and you're gonna see how beautiful this color is. And then you have another really beautiful finish. So when you mix it with Duraline, you get something like this. So you're gonna get that really, really wet, metallic, liquid liner look. If you mix it with a Max Fix Plus like this, it would be perfect for like an all over lid shade. You're like, you know what, Dani? I don't wanna go through all that trouble of using a mixing medium. Can I just use it like a regular eyeshadow? You can, but remember there's so much pearl and pigment in here, like loose pearl, duochrome glitter, that if you pack it on without like a foiling agent mixed in, you may not have it stick to your skin as good or as well as you want it to. So this is just the shadow on its own. You see how it's a little bit more sheer? Over here we use the foiling agent. You can actually see the glitter pop out of it. So a little recap, if you use a product like a glitter glue or Inglot Duraline, it's gonna give you more of a smooth metallic look. If you use a product like Fix Plus, it's really going to make it a really metallic, glitter laced look. Do you see how, like, I don't want to use the word chunky because that sounds negative, but you could see how it really stands out. So this is more of a textured look. This is more of a smooth look. So remember that you'll get two different effects depending on which mixing medium you're going to use. So there you have it, the Lotus Collection by me and ittsē. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I really hope I made you guys proud. I know a lot of us aren't really big fans of color, but I feel like this is a really great chance to like delve into it. Try something new. It's perfect for the holidays. You guys can be like all sparkly for New Year's Eve and look amazing. Or you could be all sparkly at Costco like me. You guys know how I roll with my two little boys and a full face of makeup. This collection is limited edition, so it will only be available while supplies last. And there are a couple of purchasing options on the ittsē website. When you guys go over there, you'll be able to see. You can buy the quad on its own, or you can buy it with your own little palette, which is a great chance for you to start building like your own little ittsē palette or your own little ittsē makeup collection. I know Michelle from Ready Set Glamour also has a quad with them, so maybe you could have like your own little YouTuber palette. Oh, that's kind of a good idea. Maybe I should do that. I'll put my shadows with Michelle's shadows and then we have a little YouTuber palette. Anyway, you guys know I don't like to swindle any opportunity to remind you guys of how important you are to me, how special you are, and how much potential each and every one of you guys has. So if I can create a makeup collection, as corny as that sounds, that's going to remind you of how awesome you are, it's going to, you know, not be a wasted opportunity. I'm gonna jump all over it, koala hug status, and take advantage. So like I said, this is a limited edition collection. It will only be available while supplies last. So I really hope that you guys will take advantage and get one, and then tag me all over social media. We will have our very own special hashtag, which I will write here so that you guys can, so I make sure that I don't miss a single post from you guys, because it's so hard to keep track of your posts if you guys don't use a hashtag. So I'm gonna include this hashtag, use it, show me you guys how awesome you look with your sparkly unicorn goodness. Okay? I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for your time. And like always, if you guys found this video useful, entertaining, or learned something, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, this coffee break is over. Bye guys.